that number 2. That'll
Yep.
be yours.
Yeah.
Same if I want to, I'll just press that or mute it.
Okay.
Um,
How you doing?
yeah, good. So after intros, we'll go live.
Yep.
So about after 3 minutes or whatever. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Furnace, home of the Townsville Flames and Townsville Heat, for tonight's live stream of the games Townsville versus Mackay. Tonight, I'm joined by head coach of the championship-winning Townsville Fire, Claudia Broussard, in commentary. Chloe, you've had a chance to have a chat with Mike before the game tonight, and what are you expecting out of the Flames?
Look, I mean, they're excited always. First game of the season. He wants to play up tempo. He wants to get up full court. He's got the athletes to do it, so I'd expect him to go with that style of play. And mind you, Michaela Cox has only just returned from China 2 days ago, so expect some early subs for her. Yeah,
and she come back not quite a little bit struggling with a bug from China. So I know she didn't train last night. I don't think, did she? Or?
No, she stayed away from the group. She came in this morning to shoot some shots, but we know how tough she is. So I'm sure there won't be much slowing her down anyways.
As you and I definitely know, Michaela, a truck could hit her and she'd still be here for a game. So, look, I got a chance to catch up with Ian Horton, the Mackay coach, a little bit earlier, and he's got his 2 new imports to the league this year, Ivana Campbell out of Chicago and Maya Lloyd out of Colorado. Really impressed with what they sort of showed so far in the program, and I think we should be after a real up-tempo game here, because that's the same sort of style he wants to play. Being a double-header, they might try and slow it up a little bit just to show a little bit of caution, knowing they've got a backup in Cairns tomorrow, but he's preaching to his team. It's about work rate. It's about playing every play and making sure they get after it. He is fully expecting, obviously, that Darcy and Cox are the keys. That's where they've got to go after. He's really hoping for tonight for his team that Heidi Freeburn's the key as far as he's concerned. And if she can do a good job, up the floor, playing good D and, driving their team down the floor quickly, that's their key to try and get a win tonight.
Yeah, look, they got a lot of size too. Other than Heidi, I'd expect them to be switching 2-3-5. Really, they're starting quite big, and that might cause a few matchup problems for the Flames guards. If Zelenka's starting in the 2 spot, as a good child or an Andrew's going to match up on that, might cause a few headaches there.
So it looks like Mackay is going with Freeburn, Lloyd, Naomi, Cedar, Zelenka, and Campbell. While Townsville, by the look of it, is going with Cox, Andrews, Goodchild, Brennan and Garvin. So that matchup between Garvin and Campbell is something I'm really looking forward to looking at.
Yeah, look, Darcy Garvin had a great WNBL season, and, she went home to Perth, played over there. So she's really fit at the moment coming into the season. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes.
All right, we're only about 10 seconds away from tip-off. The teams are starting to take to the court. This round 2 fixture, which is Townsville's first game for the season with a bye first round. Mackay coming off a 59-52 win over the Logan Thunder. So they'll take some confidence out of that, and they obviously want to go through this weekend and try and get another couple of wins if possible. And Mackay secure the tip with first possession. Lloyd with the first outside shot for the game, and the 3 is successful. The Mackay bench up and out about already.
Interesting matchup there. Cedar onto Darcy Garvin to start the game.
Maybe trying to keep Campbell out of some foul trouble by not having to have her defend Darcy early. Good offensive board by Garvin. Kick to the corner for Goodchild. 3 to answer for Townsville.
Looks like Townsville's come back into a 2-3 zone.
Activity at the shooter, missed by Lloyd there. Andrews gets the rebound and starts to push down the floor. Garvin looking for it in the post against Zelenka, double teamed. Gets the O-board, put back and the foul.
Look, they're going to have to go to that all night. There's a massive mismatch there height-wise, even with their imports, and I think, Flames are going to have to try to exploit that all night.
So foul called on Cage there, and Garvin will go to the line for the M1. Free throw's good. Now back with Mackay. Back into it, looks like a matchup sort of zone. Free burn for 2. Long 2 there.
Yeah, look, I think Townsville are happy for her to take long outside shots, but you know, if she keeps hitting them, they might have to change that game plan.
Cox, great kick ahead, early tempo, getting good shot on the rim for 2. First foul on the game against Townsville here. Fouls on Hayley Andrews, her first for the game.
Townsville sitting back in that zone again.
Mackay taking their time, being patient. Campbell with her first real touch in the paint, comes up a little shy on the fadeaway. Garvin for 3.
Look, she's got that range. They're going to have to get a hand up on that, make sure they find her in transition. She loves that shot.
Free band for 2, miss. Quick turnover by the Flames there, and Mackay back on the attack.
Working hard on the boards there. Campbell.
I don't think Coach St. Maurice would be happy with that turnover and rebounding contest as well.
No, they gotta make sure they secure possession, finish the play defensively.
Nice Euro hop there for Campbell, finishes with the 2.
St. Maurice, we could clearly hear him calling for the travel.
Garvin again for 3, misses from her favourite trail spot this time.
A little bit of a heat check.
Free burn in transition, another miss. Brennan with the long outlet, picked off by Mackay again, and it's 3-on-1. Little stumble there, allowed the Flames players to get back.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy play here.
Pushing foul there by Cox. That's second foul on Townsville. Townsville leading at this stage, 11-7.
Neither team have made a substitution yet.
Only 10 on the shot clock here. Mackay need to get moving. Another step through for Campbell. Garvin's going to need to stay down on those fakes tonight.
A bit of a
great transition by Cox to Goodchild, running the lane again for 2. Mackay straight back at them through Maya Lloyd, finishing on the rim. Flames up 13-9. Missed 3 for Cox.
Look, Mackay keep getting this numbers advantage, pushing the ball up the floor, and Townsville's going to have to do a better job of their D-trains.
Well, we promised up tempo,
nice.
and that's the way it's going at the moment, with Andrews pushing all the way for 2.
Great handle, splitting the defense through the middle.
I don't think either team would be happy with their D-trans right now.
24 points in 5 minutes already.
Mackay look like they've got their first subs coming ready. Andrews with the steal, pushing hard again. 1-on-1 with Campbell.
Oh,
finishes with the 2 and the M1. So a little kick away there for Townsville. Have kicked away to a 17-9 lead. Fowler coming into the game for the Flames, replacing Brennan. And Willis and Disseldorf coming in for Mackay, replacing Cage and Zelenka.
Cedar, actually, now.
Cedar, sorry. It has been a while since she was cage. Just throwing that out there for the old Rocky people that remember her that way. So staying in the matchup zone, Townsville. Keeping good rotations and been keeping the ball reasonably out of the keyway. Another turnover, Andrews with the steal. Kick ahead for Cox on the rim for two again.
Yeah, Mackay are going to have to do a better job just with their sloppy passes. They're just being a little careless. They can't be that casual because Townsville's just punishing them on those passes.
Three for Lloyd, misses again. Andrews with the outlet to Cox on the run. Garvin again misses from her trail spot, but Townsville secure the rebound through Cox.
Nice play.
Great high-low action there with Garvin catch and foul on the ring.
Timeout, Mackay. Try to slow this down a bit. Townsville's just scoring too easily on them.
So 22-9, and that just suddenly exploded out of nowhere, really. Mackay went probably 3 or 4 possessions without getting a good look at the rim. A couple of turnovers and a couple of loose shots, and Townsville just really punished them in transition then.
Yeah, I think, Townsville's running game is well renowned, and especially with those starting 5 athletes, they're going to run all day, and if Mackay is going to keep being careless with the ball, it's just going to be too easy.
And look, we wouldn't be here without the sponsors of the team, so we'll give a quick shout out to A. Gabrielli Constructions, the naming rights sponsor for the Townsville Flames. So Townsville Basketball are proud to have A. Gabrielli Constructions as a major sponsor for the Flames, delivering the highest quality service to all clients with honesty and integrity while thinking outside the square.
Look, leading scorers for Townsville right now, Amelia Goodchild on 7 and Haley Andrews on 5. So, the young kids leading the way.
So we'll see what instructions Coach Horton from Mackay comes out of this timeout against this zone. It's obviously they haven't found their way to penetrate it yet and get at the hoop consistently. You'd think that's got to be the key and get the ball going through the net a little bit to slow this Townsville running game down.
Few substitutions here for Townsville. Harriet Carey in for Haley Andrews.
Yes.
So Townsville switching up their defense here. Look to be in a bit of a packing man.
Good change up by the coach, considering they probably just talked about that zone in the timeout. Skipped a free burn for the 3. Much needed basket for Mackay. Cox for 3 at the other end to answer.
Look, great little flare screen there from Dysa Garvin to get her over. I mean, you can't leave Michaela Cox open. You're going to have to go over that flare screen. Another turnover there for Mackay with Freeburn just launching herself out of bounds.
Yeah, Harriet Carey saw some help that was needed there, got over there really quickly and forced that corner pass, which didn't work out well for Freeburn. So Townsville have changed up their offensive set here again. And it's gone to Garvin for a good touch in the post. Going to work on Lloyd. 2 points.
Nice little fade away back to a basket move there by Dysa Garvin.
And it's 27-12, the way of Townsville right now with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Haley Andrews and Lisa Brennan back in for Mila Goodchild and Harriet Carey.
Mackay looking to get a few reversals here, try and break down this man D. Campbell launches for a long 2 in Garvin's face.
Yeah, tough shot. Mackay.
Back into Garvin in the post. Picked off half by Mackay, but Townsville come up with the shot through. Brennan missed, and Campbell now pushing on the break. And scores with the 2 over Andrews in the lane and 1 with the foul to come.
Nice little crossover there from Campbell down the transition in the full court, showing some handles.
So I was speaking with Coach Horton before, and so Campbell's previously played in Italy before coming to Australia. So this is her first experience in Australia, loving it down here, enjoying the weather, enjoying being in sunny Queensland.
Of course, who wouldn't love the weather in Queensland, especially this time of year.
Push ahead by Cox, so Townsville still looking to keep this up-tempo game going, even off the score, and Mackay have gone to a zone now. Cox in the corner, 3 rims out. Mackay come up with the rebound. Rebound with the miss, and Willis with the foul over the back on the rebounding contest. So Mackay staying in the zone. Townsville trying to get a shift. Got Garvin on the high post to Goodchild in the corner for 3.
Look, great patience there in the zone, getting the ball to the middle of the zone, trying to draw the D and finding the shooter in the corner.
It's a dangerous ploy, Mackay trying to go to this zone with that lineup with Cox and Goodchild out there on the perimeter at the moment. Another missed opportunity from Mackay, then back down with Townsville, off an O-board. Another 3 on the kick out to Lisa Brennan, and Townsville out to 33-17.
Townsville shooting at 63% this first quarter so far. Mind you, they've had a lot of layups, but certainly shooting the ball well from the 3-point line as well.
Well, Freeburn with the miss, and then Garvin just got herself caught out, trying to pass off the feet off the ground, and turnover there, then compounded with a foul on Goodchild.
Townsville 5 of 9 from the 3-point line to start this game. I think Mackay's going to have to get a shot up, make it put it to the floor, bring it inside the keyway.
So last minute of the first quarter here. Mackay just straight over that high on-ball screen. Nice finish on the rim for Freeburn. Townsville straight back down with Cox for 3. I'm not sure if Horton can continue to stay in this zone the way that Townsville's shooting right now.
Well, I mean, they're going to need to do a better job getting to the shooters. You know, they're 6 of 10 from the 3-point line, but I reckon 10 of those 3s have been open.
And Mackay looking for, there's about a 4-second differential in the shot clock. Turnover. And Townsville ball with 9 seconds to go. Coach calling for match-up from Mackay. Cox is with the ball. Step up screen by Garvin to the corner for Goodchild. 3, it's a miss. And at quarter time, the Townsville Flames lead 36-19, so 36 points, Globe. Look, the first game, you're normally a little bit rusty offensively. You know, Townsville probably hasn't had the greatest preparation as far as, you know, prep games, trial games or anything like that. I probably wouldn't have expected that many points in the first quarter.
No, look, I don't think Coach Samaris would have either. Look, I think, you know, but mind you, probably about 15 or 18 of them are transition baskets out of turnovers. So, you know, if Mackay can take those scores away, they're right there with them. You know, they've scored 19 themselves, which is quite good. You'd be happy with that.
Yeah, look, I think any hopes Coach Horton had of rotating players freely tonight to get some rest through his legs, you know, he's not going to be able to do that right now because they've got to try and keep their studs in the game as much as they can just to keep touch.
Yeah, look, they're on 5 turnovers. You know, that's probably what's hurt them the most so far. You know, neither team really getting to the foul line yet. They're just getting, you know, open shots and open layups. So probably expect a little bit more defense in the second quarter.
So Townsville Basketball are proud to have Dennis Computers as the major sponsor, another major sponsor for the Townsville Flames. They're quality computers without the scary price. Now, a special night for Townsville Basketball tonight. Obviously, last year, the grand final in the men's was the Heat versus the Meteors, and the Heat winning down in Mackay. So there'll be a bit of a grudge match coming out later tonight, and looking forward to calling that one. And Townsville, they've invited some old players in tonight, some old Heat players. So there's a bit of a celebration, and they'll be raising the banner to the roofs tonight, and hopefully have both teams really pumped up for a big grand final matchup in the second game this evening.
Yeah, look, I think, if you're Mackay, there's nothing that fires you up more than watching the other team lift their banner, is there? So, if there's something that's going to get them motivated, it'll be that. Substitution here for Townsville with Magella Carey getting her first minutes.
And Maddie McDonald coming in for, I know she was in the last couple of minutes, I think, in that last quarter for Mackay, but they've gone with a little bit of a different matchup. Campbell getting her first rest for the game. And Townsville's ball to start off the quarter. Cox inside to Garvin with the miss. Zelenka with the rebound. Townsville switching some screens there. Cedar with the miss. Fowler with the rebound and outlet to Cox, and Townsville are on the run again. Goodchild gets past Zelenka, but then throws an errant pass, and Lloyd comes away in transition for two. Couple of stops there for Mackay to start off the quarter, and a good run to get a score. But straight away, Cox back down the other end on the push.
Yeah, look, Michaela has a lot of tools in her toolkit. She can shoot the three, the mid-range. She can finish at the rim. So she's going to be a bit of a headache for Mackay.
And Townsville slowing Mackay down there with some extended pressure. Looked like a 2-2-1 press. And travel called by Freeburn. Another turnover for Mackay. That's really starting to hurt them. They're not getting those opportunities, and Townsville coming down and hurting them at the other end.
Yeah, look, they're already on 5 shots less.
So Cox is doing all right out there for somebody who has come home sick from China and not been able to play, but she's one of the toughest bowlers that we know, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, I mean, she's really fit. She's probably the fittest athlete we know. So despite the long hours of traveling and the stomach bug.
Another turnover from Mackay. Garbin for three. Long again on the back of the rim. Good help D there from Townsville. Force the kick out in the reversal, into the scramble. Nice high-low pass to Zelenka, and she's used that little bit of experience that she's got from the years at the Fire and years as a key player for Mackay to try and get a good finish over Fowler. Missed the shot, but will go to the line for two. Lincoln misses. Garvin with the rebound, and then the cheap foul. Those are the ones that coaches hate on those rebound contests. So McDonald just going after the ball, I think, a little bit there and getting her foul.
A little bit of inexperience, really.
So Andrews back into the game with 2 fouls for Townsville. Kick to Goodchild for 2.
Look, Miller's been on the receiving end of some great passes, and she's been knocking down those shots.
Foul on Fowler there. Just a little bit too aggressive, trying to pick up the ball in the trap.
Picking up her second foul. She can go sit down next to the coaches. In comes Lisa Brennan.
Lisa, the veteran of this team for Townsville. She's, I think I can remember her playing for the Flames back in like 2006 or 7. So she's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, look, one of Townsville's best juniors, and played some WNBL and certainly has a lot of experience.
Mackay, oh board, and then the ring jam there off the shot. So
balancing quite nicely, actually.
This, I believe it's Mackay's ball with the possession arrow. And after the first couple of minutes of the second quarter, Townsville still holding on to an 18-point lead, 40-22. Townsville into the zone off the out of bounds there.
Oh, jeez.
And Mackay just sloppy pass in and leads to another turnover.
Yeah, look, I think Coach Houghton would be upset with those types of turnovers.
Kick ahead by Cox.
Oh, another one.
Townsville repay the favour. So
it's still round 2.
Scoring slowed down a little bit in this quarter. So
yeah,
you would expect that. Aggressive trap from Townsville from the inbound. Forces the turnover.
Oh, jeez.
Good recovery by Mackay to get back, and Lloyd picking off that pass. On the push themselves. Townsville scramble back.
Bit of a mismatch here in the low post. Nice step through.
Just lacking the finish. Tip to Andrews off the rebound. Townsville off and running again.
Oh, jeez. That was lucky because that was about to be the 5th turnover in a row.
Yeah, so picked up Garvin on that cut through, and the foul picked up by Campbell there, just bumping her as she was trying to receive the ball. Andrews on the attack, finds Brennan inside for another 2. Some really good diving off the ball and some movement here for Townsville, which is giving him some open shots. Freeburn for the long 2, misses. Andrews with the rebound, and Townsville off to the races again, but Freeburn picks off the pass. Back 3-on-2, 4-on-2. The miss. Townsville back in control, and this is the up-tempo game. Andrews pulls up for the 3. All nets.
Another wide open 3. They got to find those shooters in transition.
Now Townsville really aggressive in the full court, double teaming Freeburn on the inbounder and trying to keep the ball out of Lloyd's hands as well. So trying to crank up the pressure here.
I guess, there's not much depth in that point guard spot for Mackay, so they're going to make Freeburn work for everything.
Touched by Garvin there. Didn't quite come up with the steal. Not sure that should be a shot clock reset, but that's the way the bench has gone with, so.
Bit of a break there for Mackay.
Rip through baseline, Lloyd, that showing that experience on a younger good child. Mila just probably playing a bit tight to her there and allowing her to get through that baseline and drawing the foul.
Look, Mackay's only had 3 points this quarter so far, so getting herself to the foul line for some much needed points, hopefully.
First one's good. Lloyd doubles up. Andrews into the point guard responsibility here with Cox off the floor. Back to operating off the flare screen, then a good pass down to Garvin, double team, kick. Brennan in the corner for 3, misses. Oh, just a rushed pass from Mackay there. Whistledorf thought she saw an opportunity to push it ahead to Willis on the run, but just pushed it a little early, and Townsville see if they can make him pay for another turnover. Garvin looking to operate one-on-one in the post on the early catch.
Haley Andrews with a big offensive rebound.
O-board kick again. Another O-board for Carey. Good job with the pull-up. 3 opportunities for Townsville there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout from Townsville soon.
Yep, the scoring's really dried up for both teams here. Mackay just showing a bit of poise here, pulling the ball out, trying to get a good shot.
Good one-on-one matchup in the post. Garvin straight up, Campbell pleading for the foul, but both players going vertical there, and if anything, Campbell's closing the gap, so good no call by the refs. We want to see those players play like that.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think that's going to be a good matchup all night for us to watch. Alex Fowler back in, giving the Townsville Flames quite a big lineup, really.
Yeah, really, we've got Brennan in the 2 of the 3 and Carey in the 2 of the 3 here. Rip through baseline from Carey, misses. Mackay with the push-up court. Townsville scramble back. Campbell attacking the inexperienced Fowler again there. Again, that's just that pro savvy against someone who's not played as much, and that's our third foul on Fowler now, so she's back to the bench, and Magella Carey comes in. Interesting sub there with Cox coming in for Garvin as well, so we've gone from a big lineup to a smaller lineup now for Townsville.
Yeah, that's right. I guess they've got that flexibility with some versatile players there. I think Mackay can keep looking to exploit that ball screen with Campbell there. They're getting some good looks out of that.
So Campbell to the line here. And very short on that first one, we'll say.
Yeah, look, she was a bit shaken there after that slip, so.
Yeah, she's shaking her arm there, whether she picked up a little knock on the elbow. Makes the second, correct.
Good fix, good fix.
So a 20-point game here with 4 minutes to go in the second. Flames up 45-25. Townsville across the split line a couple of times, testing out the Mackay D. Brennan left open at the top. Short, and Campbell with a big rebound. She looks good pushing it in the open court as well. Ooh.
Yeah, she does. Look, she's a very versatile athlete. She's got some good handles for a player her size. But great defensive play there by Michaela Cox, getting her feet across to draw the charge.
And now Campbell goes to the bench with 3 fouls, so that's really going to hurt Mackay in this attempted comeback.
Yeah, she was the only one getting some good looks at the rim there. They're going to have Lloyd step up.
So Cox back into the game. Oh, moving screen called on Carey on that flare screen. Thankfully it didn't hurt too much because Cox missed the shot anyway.
Beck Vanderjack in the game for her first minutes. Beck making a comeback to QBL after a few years off.
Lloyd attacking. Can't quite get the finish, and Harriet Carey comes up with the rebound. Just some loose play from Townsville at the moment, so they had an opportunity to really have this thing. Like, it's 20 points still, and they're still in well in control, but without all the turnovers this quarter, I'm sure that Coach Mike will be ripping them a little bit about that at half-time.
Yeah, look, I mean, he won't fault their defense. They've only allowed 6 points, but, they haven't been able to score themselves.
Magella Carey short-arming that one under the pressure.
Bit of a mismatch in the low post there. Lloyd trying to post up Carey, but Zelenka didn't like it.
Lloyd on the attack against Harriet Carey now. Draws the foul again and will go to the line again. So Mackay just chipping their way back into this game, getting on the foul line right now.
Yeah, look, with Campbell out of the game, Lloyd's had to step up, and she's done a good job of that. She's being really aggressive, especially on every second touch. She's getting herself to the rim and you know, trying to take advantage of the youth of Townsville and their lack of defense there on her.
So Lloyd again makes 2 from the line. Chips away and the lead's back to 18. Andrews off the on-ball pop to Vanderjagt for 2. Nice little pop from Vanderjagt there, and while we haven't seen her on the court for a long time, that was her bread and butter when she played with the Fire and with the Flames previously.
Yeah, look, she's a great mid-range jump shooter, so she'll be handy for the Townsville Flames.
Lloyd for 3. She's really trying to drag this team back into this contest. Townsville patient, reversing. Pop again for Vanderjagt. That 2 mid-range shot again.
You know, and it's hard to defend because you're obviously not going to block her at her height, so you just got to get really up and in and take that space away.
Cox putting pressure under Freeburn, almost caused another turnover there. Lloyd back with this matchup she's enjoyed so far against Harriet Carey. Zelenka with the tough attack, misses but gets the ball off an O-board tip. Attacks hard at the rim, draws a foul on Magella Carey and will go to the line again for 2.
Yeah, look, Mackay is certainly battling, and I think that's what they're going to have to do, try to get this if they can, you know, by halftime, try to get to 15.
And Garvin coming back in here now for Magella Carey to get a rest, so it's at 19 right now. Minute to go in the second quarter.
Score and a stop will do it.
Might need a few more scores and a few more stops for Mackay. 2 free throws there for Zelenka, good. Andrews looking off the on-ball, didn't get anything. Reverse for Cox, now come off the on-ball on the opposite wing. Kick to Carey, 3 ball. Nice settler for Townsville. This last minute's probably just kicked their momentum back in a little bit going into half-time. A little bit of flow action there from Mackay. Fake handoff from Zelenka. Turned the corner and missed the 2. Cox holding for the last shot here. 10 seconds down. Into the corner for 3. Andrews misses. And that's time. So we go to half-time with the Townsville Flames leading the Mackay Meteorettes 52-32.
Look, it's been an entertaining first half. I think, you know, 2 different quarters there. But, you know, some nice production out of the 2 imports from Mackay. They've certainly led the way there. I think, you know, Ian will probably be looking a little bit more out of probably Zelenka and Freeburn, I'd say.
So interesting, just looking at the benches here, Horton rallying the troops around the bench first, getting them arm in arm a little bit to try and get that feel of togetherness before they're going off into the change room. He's obviously, you know, trying to take some confidence from that second quarter where they, you know, while they didn't make big inroads, they chipped away a little bit and kept themselves in the game.
Yeah, look, they slowed down that Townsville offense. You know, that was just going guns of fire in that first quarter, scoring 33. So I think that, you know, a little bit of a win there to be able to slow them down. You know, they'd be spewing over all the turnovers that have just, you know, really translated to less shots and less opportunities for Mackay.
All right, the stream will continue, but we're going to take a little break here from commentary during the half time. Hopefully Claudia and I can go and get in front of these coaches and see what their messages were for the groups coming out of half time, and we'll be back in probably about 10 minutes with the stream. Welcome back to the furnace for the second half of this Flames versus Meteorettes matchup, and got a quick chance to catch the Townsville coach in the break, and from all, he's feeling pretty good about where the game's at the moment. Wasn't too upset about what happened in the second quarter there. Knows it's their first game of the season. I think their hope is to try and put this thing, a little bit more distance in the first couple of minutes here, and then get the Mackay coach starting to think about, they've got to double up this weekend and trying to get some of their players maybe sitting on the bench.
Yeah, look, I think he was happy with Lee, penetrating and finding those shooters in the corners late in the game, shot clock possession, and they did a really good job of that, and they've had different contributors, not just Darcy Garber and Michaela Cox, which certainly he would be really pleased about. So that's going to be the challenge, I think, for Mackay, to try to slow down that Townsville offense. Look, 52 points and a half is pretty good for your first game.
So a big thank you to the game night sponsor for tonight, the Mendy Group. The Mendy Group is an integrated construction company specialising in bulk haulage, civil construction, project development and quarries, building our community for over 50 years. All right, so we head back out. Flames with their starting group all out on the floor, and Mackay with one change, with Willis out there instead of Zelenka to start off the quarter.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Why is that?
Zelenka, no fouls. No fouls, so not quite sure what's going on there.
Look, I think maybe Ian's just not happy with her production. I don't know.
High low to start off the quarter from Townsville. Great pass from Brennan and great finish from Garvin.
Not looking like slowing down, and he getting 2 points in the first 15 seconds.
Campbell in the post, double team coming from Townsville there, leaving Cedar open at the elbow. Good job of the rebound, pushing out off to the races again. Poor turnover, and then compounded by a foul.
Yeah, look, she just got herself a little bit too deep there, Mila, and probably needed to slow it down a little bit in transition.
So Goodchild coming off her first season as a development player with the Fire, heading to Duke next year for college ball, using an opportunity to come up here in Townsville to sharpen up her game before she goes away.
Yeah, look, what a great opportunity to play at one of the top schools in the U.S. System. Look, I think she's really excited, and we are for her as well.
Campbell with the attempt over Cox, but big offensive rebound by Lloyd. Kick out to Freeman, misses the three, and another rebound to Mackay though. And then a check on the hip, another foul on Garvin. Called on the floor and on the baseline here. So that's a first foul on Garvin, so she's done a good job to protect herself thus far.
Yeah, look, Mackay need to start hitting some of those outside shots if they want to close this gap.
So Townsville back to the zone here, which is what Townsville were expecting Mackay to come out in.
I think Townsville's just shooting the ball too good for Mackay to sit in the zone.
Push from Andrews. Lloyd getting a little deflection on the ball, kicked a corner, Cox for three. For those who aren't up to date, Cox just coming off gold medal in the FIBA 3x3 Asia Cup and MVP for the tournament over there.
Yeah, look, just brilliant. I mean, talking to her before she went over, she wasn't even sure what the rules were. She was going to Google them on the way, and look, she certainly did a great job of that.
So Garvin dribbles a little bit into trouble in the corner, but gets the kick out. Goodchild on the attack, fade away. Contested rebound, ends up in jump ball. And the possession arrow is with Mackay. The Mackay boys started to roll in over in the corner there, looking fairly intense and probably keen to get on the court straight away and not wait. They're really looking forward to this matchup, I'd say.
Yeah, they would be. I think, both teams have done a good job building it up all week as well.
Release out of the aggressive trap from Townsville there. Mackay just looking a little disorganised in the half court.
Yeah, look, I think that trap's done a good job of...
Campbell on the attack on that one-on-one. Garvin comes up with the rebound. Now Townsville with the kick ahead again. Now Garvin on the attack. She's struggled a little bit of touch tonight.
Yeah.
Double team. Campbell missed Cedar wide open under the rim there. Forced the kick out and Townsville come back up with the ball. Good mid-court screen from Garvin. Kick to the corner for three for Goodchild. Willis just getting herself up from that screen. Mackay off to the races for two. I don't know if Willis will be real happy with her teammates there. She got cleaned up pretty good.
Yeah, look, I mean, you know, always blame your teammates on that type of stuff. They've got to be communicating with you.
Oh, nice curl over the flare screen from Cox there. I thought Lloyd might have got that clean, but she's not looking upset about the call, so must have got a little bit of arm, and Cox goes to the line. I think
she did have her hand on her back too. So look, I think you know, Mackay doing the right thing in tailing Cox up with her screens, making sure she's not getting open threes, but good read from Michaela and a great pass to find her.
And referee Tom Jones issues Lisa Brennan with a flop call from that transition set just before. I've not really known Lisa to be a flopper because she's getting old. She doesn't really like having to get up off the floor, so...
I didn't actually notice him signal it during the game either, but...
Just when they were lining up for those free throws. And Campbell against Garvin in the post. Kick out and picked off by Cox. Kick ahead to Goodchild with the speed, but misses the layup. Townsville not taking their opportunities here. Still hold on to the lead, 59-34 after 4 minutes in the third.
Luke Townsville still going under the ball screens with Freeburn.
Good rescreen there from Mackay. Garvin got a hand in at the ball, but it's still Mackay's ball.
6 seconds left on the shot clock here.
Subs for Mackay. Zelenka coming back into the game now with Düsseldorf, with Willis and Cedar moving back to the bench. 5 seconds here for Mackay. Attacked by Freeburn.
Nice defense there. Haley Andrews just playing that straight up.
Good hard push. Finds Cox. Foul and 2 shots.
And that's that transition game again, you know, got the stop, and within 10 seconds the shot was up at the rim. So
I think they just committed a bit too much to the O glass down that end. Freeburn went hard on the rim and 3 or 4 went after the O glass. Townsville came up with it and away they went.
Yeah, look, I think Mackay possibly tagging up offensively, and that might be costing them a little bit here.
Fowler back into the game for Townsville, with Brennan going back to the bench.
Hopefully she doesn't foul.
And Fowler, one of a number of players out on the court here for Townsville tonight that'll be missing next weekend, away on Australian duties down at the AIS.
Yeah, 3 of them, Haley Andrews, Mila Goodchild, and Alex Fowler. Darcy Garvin missing another bunny.
And getting very frustrated. We've seen that look on her face before. She really just needs to get one settler to get her confidence back right now. Left Campbell open for 3.
Well,
turnover Townsville. Zelenka, good job just containing and pushing Andrews towards the sideline there. And Harriet Carey coming back in for Mila Goodchild.
Mackay setting up their offense here. Double high screen for Freeburn.
A bit of a different entry in there, and Zelenka ended up with the pull-up jumper at the top, unsuccessful. Fowler looking for the ball in the post and not getting it there. Instead, reverse to Garvin with the matchup against Linker. Good dive by Harry Carey. Again, just no poise on the finish right now. Deflection by Garvin to Andrews, and Townsville's off running. 4 on 2. Harry Carey with the finish this time.
Look, Lloyd signaling to Coach Houghton she needs a sub. Look, she's pretty...
Yeah, she's struggling out there. She's very tired by the look of it.
Yeah, look, she's had to put some big minutes in that first half. Had to carry a load for a while, and this fast tempo is just getting to her here. Mind you, it's still early in the season. You'd expect her to get a bit fitter as the season goes on.
Gets the ball, though, and gets hard at the rim and finishes for 2. That might just put a little bit more pep in the step for another couple of minutes. Kick off the flare screen for Cox. Misses the 3. But Townsville scramble and get after the O board into Garvin.
There you go. She
There's the
finished
shower
well.
finish.
Mackay struggling to score this half.
Lloyd calling for a timeout, actually, it looks like. I don't think she wants a sub. I think she wants the coach to call a time so she can get a quick blow. 2 for Campbell from the top of the keyway. Garvin against Campbell from the post. Kick out to the corner for Carey for 3. Rims out, but eyeballed by Fowler.
Look, and that's certainly one of Alex Fowler's strength, offensive rebounding.
Power game back into Garvin for 2 on the finish. And that's a timeout, Mackay. With Townsville leading 67 to 38. So 29-point game here. You'd have to think, you know, is Coach Horton going to be starting to think about pulling some of these players, Chloe, or got another game against Cairns this weekend?
Yeah, look, I think he has to because, you know, he'd be thinking Cairns are gettable. He was going to probably give Townsville a good crack and see how it went, but, you know, Townsville's just shooting the ball too well.
Looking now, Coach St. Marie still coaching pretty hard in that huddle, so he's obviously trying to make sure that the team doesn't let up here. He wants them to kick away and really, you know, put this one to bed and gain some confidence going into round 3, where, what have they got next week, the Flames?
Things I should know, but I've got no idea, sorry.
We'll do our research better next time, guys. We'll find out before we go away, but...
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain, no. Look, I think, you know, early in the season, you'd still want to be coaching in his timeouts and making sure that you know, he's getting what he wants out of the group. They haven't had much time together with the full squad, with, you know, Michaela Cox being away, Darcy Garvin being away, and, you know, a lot of the young kids were away at Nationals last week, so it's you know, he'd be just happy having the whole group there. So
I just checked, home to Rocky next weekend, so they really want to make sure they get this win. You know, those Northern Pool games, you know, where you play more games against those teams. You want to try and get a mental edge over them early in the season.
So look, Mackay have gone with Denisha Babongi in here for the first time in the game. You know, young kid out of Mackay.
Big O board by Campbell, just climbing over the back there. But then Townsville on the push again. Great pass by Cox. Finding good child on the run. Composed finish. And Townsville back into this extended trap. Ooh, little reach in there by Cox. And Cox gets a rest, back to the bench here. Andrews comes back in to run the point.
Freeburn, unfortunately, just can't get one to drop for her.
Townsville just continuing to go under that on-ball screen and just daring her to shoot it right now. So I'm sure if she makes a couple, they'll adjust a little bit, but there's no need for panic right now on that plan.
No, that's right. I mean, she probably wants to hit one anyways, just so she's ready for tomorrow night's game.
Andrews for 3 at the other end from range with McDonald with a hand.
Look, that's something she's added to her game in the last year and a half, is that three-point range. She's just been knocking them down.
And the Flames now out to a 32-point lead. certainly not what I expected coming into this game.
Wabongi does a good job of drawing a foul. Will get herself to the line.
Foul on Harriet Carey there. That's her second foul. The subs in for Mackay, Cedar, and I think that's Milburn coming into the game. So maybe this is the first signs of Coach Horton starting to run his bench through a little bit here. He's got 2 starters out there on the floor. But, you know, 3 players that haven't played a hell of a lot of minutes right now.
A couple of the young kids out there.
Wabongi misses the second, and the rebound for Townsville. Andrews picks up quickly in the defensive pressure. Great extended pressure by Mackay then. Just probably a little bit unlucky. Cedar getting a touch on the ball there.
Yeah. Townsville with a lucky break for sure.
So really a very young group in here for the Flames as well. So Hayley Andrews, Mila Goodchild and Magella Carey all representing Queensland at the under-20 nationals this year. And then you've got Harriet Carey and Alex Fowler away with you last week with the under-18 North Queensland team. So a lot of youth out on the floor for Townsville right now.
Yeah, that's right. And same with Mackay with Maddie McDonald and Wabongi and Milburn.
Good
Nice.
early kick to Fowler from Harriet Carey and good finish on the rim.
Saw that at Nationals a few times last week as well. Look, Harriet Carey is just a really good passer, really unselfish.
McDonald getting harassed by Fowler at the top of the key there. Now Campbell's pretty much playing on the perimeter now, trying to look for attacks. Good on the boards by Maddie McDonald. Shot clock low. McDonald launches it. Townsville ball. So 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Townsville Flames up 74-41. So last shot here for Townsville. With this young group, we might see an earlier one, but good trap by Mackay. Pushed out. A good child calls for Carmen Andrews. Takes the settler up the top. Looking to work off the on-ball screen from Magella Carey. Fowler kicks it on. 3 seconds on the clock. Harriet Carey, 4-3.
Look, 25-9 quarter there for Townsville. I think Mackay's defense wasn't able to slow them down any, really.
And look, that's got to give a lot of happiness to Coach St. Maurice there. Like seeing a young group out there, often in that situation, coming to the end of the quarter, they'll panic, they'll launch an early shot, allow a team to go and get a score, or even worse, not even get a shot up, to execute, get that extra kick to the corner for a 3. You know, he'd be rapt at that when he goes back and looks at the tape this week.
Yeah, look, for sure. I think, while those kids are young, they certainly had a lot of bigger game experience, so shows their character there.
So for those looking to follow all the live scores for tonight's game here in Townsville or around the league on the weekend, you can go to www.qbl.basketballqueensland.com.au. And our tech guys have told us that if you really want to, watching the YouTube stream tonight, if you've got any questions, particularly around the Townsville Fire, maybe for Claudia Brassard to be able to answer, if you're following us on YouTube and you've got any comments or questions you want to ask there, we'll see if we can get to them in this last quarter.
I got all the answers. Look, it'll be interesting to see what Ian does here this last quarter, if he does pull the pin and puts in some of the young kids and makes sure that he's ready for tomorrow's game. Look, I'm not even 100% certain how did Cairns go last week.
Cairns had a road double last weekend, I think. Well, it might have even been a road triple last weekend for Cairns. So we'll just see if we can pull up those results.
There you go. They had a big win against Toowoomba. Went down to Ipswich, which is a decent team, and then a big loss to Southwest Metro Pirates, who I guess are probably considered the favourites for this QBL season.
Attack by Milburn, miss, but follow up from Campbell. Draws the foul on Vanderjagt, scores the basket and go to the line for a free throw.
Great start there from Mackay. They certainly needed a little bit, something to go their way.
Free throw's good for Campbell. Townsville back with the ball. Extend pressure a bit from here, Mackay again, so they know they've got to lift the tempo of this game to be any chance of working back into it, but going to struggle to get back there if they can't contest shots better than that. Andrews just with the open two at the elbow there.
Look, she's had a great game. She's on 13 points already on 5 of 8 shooting.
Great step-up screen there by Cedar on Harriet Carey. She got rocked a little bit there. No talk. She's looking at her teammates again. A little sloppy there from Townsville. Just a little bit too lax and end up with the turnover.
Yeah, and I think maybe just showing their lack of playing with each other there. Mila was going to curl that one, and Lisa thought she was going for the straight cut. So hopefully they've got that fixed in the later rounds.
It's a little double-edged sword here for Horton with Mackay, though. Does he, while he's got to worry about tomorrow night's game, he doesn't want this to blow out massively and affect season splits at the end of the season as well with the double with Townsville.
No, that's right, and I think, no one likes to get blown out either, so Campbell with a nice high five there for Tom Jones. Showing a little bit of gamesmanship. I think Tom enjoyed that one. But it's still Townsville ball. He didn't change his mind. Cedar with a block on Andrews, and Vanders misses her first jump shot of the night.
Another rebound by Campbell. Her numbers must be getting up a little bit there now on the board count.
Yeah, she's on 12.
A reach-in foul there by Brennan. Coach killers, those ones, when they're not really going anywhere and you just can't help but put your hand in the cookie jar. And Cox coming back in here for Townsville now with Harriet Carey going back to the bench.
Mackay have done a better job of, securing possession, not turning the ball over. They had 6 in that first quarter, and they're on 13 now, so certainly that's helped them.
Vanderjagt looking for it in the post. Turnover, good activity by Campbell there with the hands. Pushes it back, and Cox just gets a hand in to deflect, and it'll be Mackay ball from the baseline. Now Garvin coming back in here for Townsville as well. So St. Maurice, while he's obviously happy with the result, he's being round one, he wants to get his players through and get some confidence through them here.
Yeah, I think so. They need to learn to play with each other. Campbell knocks down the open jumper.
Step up by Garvin. Cox comes off, skips for Goodchild. Short on the three, but tip from Garvin to Vanderjagt. No good. Mackay come up with the ball. Heavy pressure under the rim. It's a scrap here. And Townsville come up with the ball. Townsville looking for the power game, then Garvin on the attack. Milburn just sticking her hands in there as Vanderjagt was trying to kick out to Brennan in the corner.
Mackay collapsing on Garvin anytime she's putting the ball to the floor. They're sending 2 or 3 at her.
It's great to see the crowd really building at this stage for this men's game. Chloe, like I know that we're certainly not disregarding this Flames and Meteorettes game tonight, but the big ticket tonight is that grand final matchup in the next game.
Yeah, look, I think it's been hyped up all week, and there should be lots of noisy fans here tonight.
Brennan just overcooking the three. Campbell another rebound. Mackay able to push out here.
We haven't seen Lloyd come back in for Mackay, so I wonder if...
Oh, here she comes to the bench now.
There you go. I should coach him.
You know a little bit of the game. Maybe you should have a crack at that at some stage, Clive.
Be a good child in transition with a Euro step, draws the foul.
So you'd have to think Campbell's got to come out here. Like, yeah, that's the play. One import for the other import. Let's not lose complete confidence in the group. Keep someone out there to keep the clock ticking over, but let's not burn our players. We haven't seen Freeburn out there for this whole fourth quarter either. So it looks like this is going to be a comfortable win for Townsville. They're up, 34 right now. Make that 35 with 7 minutes to go on the clock.
Yeah, and look, I think Mackay only scored 52 last week. So they're on par with that type of score line again. So that might be a bit of an issue for them down the stretch for the rest of the season. They're going to have to start putting a bit more points on and finding some other scorers.
I believe they've got a couple of kids coming back to the program that have been away at college and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure why they're not here right now, but they do have a couple of extra pieces to come in, but they definitely need to find some extra offense, that's for sure.
Babongi gets her first 2 points of the game.
Cox on the push. This D-Trans, thankfully scrambled back with this young group at the moment. High-low foul at a Garvin. That is great play.
And Alex Fowler is just another really unselfish player. She's always looking to find a teammate.
Steal again from Garvin. Good child back on the rim. Another two. And this is really starting to get, quite ugly for Mackay right now.
Yeah, look, I think they just need to slow it down. They don't need any early shots. Get one good shot late in the clock and then, get back on defense. That's been their biggest issue.
Well, Coach Horton recognising that, and see Freeburns come to the bench, ready to come back in. So, that mental edge of the game. You're not going to win this game, but you still got to try and get some positives out of it, and that's what he's obviously looking for here.
A good child again, attacking in transition, drawing a foul.
Andrews and Magella Carey coming back in for Townsville, and we might need to start shouting out at St. Maurice here. Let's get the bench in, hey?
Yeah, that's right.
Fabro and Shayna Pacey sitting down there, ready to come in. They'll be itching to get out here and get amongst this win. Andrews for three. Good rebound by Lloyd. Kick ahead. Good hand in there by Cox again. Just been relentless with their pressure through the whole night, really, tonight.
Look, and I think Coach St. Maurice probably needs to think the same thing with Michaela Cox. While she can go all day, maybe give her a bit of a rest after having travelled from China.
Well, and maybe an opportunity to give some of these other girls who might need to play a bit more next week with Fowler, Goodchild, Andrews away. You might need to get them in here just to at least get them on the court so they're not as nervous against Rocky.
Yeah, I agree. Look, Mix played the most minutes for the Flames so far. She's on 27.
Andrews off the on-ball to Garvin on the roll. Just lacking that touch a little bit. Fowler O-board, finding Magella Carey. So again, another big lineup here for Townsville with Magella Carey, Garvin and Fowler all in together. So kick out to Garvin at the top for three. Short. Fowler wrestling and drawing the foul on the rebounding contest.
Look, she's really quite relentless chasing offensive rebounds. She's got great anticipation of where the ball's going to be, and she usually gets herself into that spot.
Off to the line for Fowler here. Bit long on the first. Long again, but comes up with her own O-board. Garvin for three again. Fingers crossed, and the sigh of relief when that one goes down.
Well, that's a 12-3 for Townsville, and you know, Mackay have not been that hot. They've only hit 3 from outside.
Here we go. Mike must have been listening to us. Pacey coming to the bench now, looking to enter the game with Harriet Carey. Another rebound by Fowler. Outlet to Andrews. On the run again. Euro step, draws the foul on Babongi and will go to the line for two.
Look, that transition game has been unstoppable all night.
And in comes Pacey for her first minutes, giving Cox the rest. And Harriet Carey coming in, and Darcy Garvin back to the bench as well. Presuming in the last 3 minutes 40, we're not going to see them again this evening.
I would not expect so. We haven't seen Zelenka come back in. I wonder if she's maybe carrying a bit of an injury. She only had 13 minutes, and she would have to be one of their...
Yeah, just looking down at their bench, I can't see any ice or anything on any players, and nothing like that going on, so... The Flames leading this one 91-50 with 3 minutes 30 to go. Looking to bring up the 100 probably if they can. Good box out by Magella Carey. And again, we see a very young Townsville group here. You know, the similar group we talked about before, but take out an under 20 in Mila Goodchild and put in Shayna Pacey, another 18 you had away last week, and she misses with her first shot.
And who's there to get the rebound? Alex Fowler.
Forced in a little bit there for a turnover.
Ambitious, yeah. Very ambitious.
So last couple of minutes here, Chloe, what do you think Mackay need to address before tomorrow or before that game against Cairns? What's their major deficiencies we've got to find a solution for pretty quickly?
I'd say number one certainly would be their D-trans. You know, they just given up so many easy baskets for Townsville or layups at the rim that you know, they haven't really had to work in the half court. You know, they haven't really tested Townsville's offense. You know, it's round 2, first game for Townsville, and they've been able to get these easy scores all night. So certainly, I imagine Ian will be trying to fix that before Cairns.
And Eliza Fabro in now for Townsville for her first minutes, and during that break we also saw Campbell come back in for Lloyd. Campbell gets the feed inside against the younger foul there, uses the experience, powers up at the rim, finish for 2 and will go to the line.
She's been great rebounding all night. She's, you know, so athletic and long, and she just gets, she can jump obviously quite high. Done a great job.
Just lacked a little bit of support in there though as well. You know, like as we've said, Zelenka's probably sat a bit more than what we would have expected. You know, she's normally going and chasing after that glass.
Yeah, look, you know, that would be a strength of Zelenka's. I've certainly seen her get plenty of offensive rebounds at fire trainings every day. So I'm not 100% sure why she hasn't played.
Harriet Carey on the rip to the baseline there, gets the foul, and will go off to the foul line herself for 2 here.
Ian might be trying to see if Jill Houghton can come back early.
Yeah, I had a quick chat to Jill before the game, and the rehab's going slowly, obviously. Yeah. She's back to, you know, she's weight bearing and all those sorts of things, and, you know, I think she even said she can do some light jogging and stuff like that at the moment now, so, you know, it would be frustrating her immensely sitting on the sidelines watching this, you know, being that lead point guard for Mackay for many a year now.
Yeah, and look, you know, it's such a blow to their program, and, you know, it came only, you know, I think probably, a month before the season started, and they'd already signed their imports. A really hard player to replace that late in the season, or that late in, in the off-season, and I think, you know, it's hard to replace Jill as it is. Her prolific outside shooting, and, you know, she does such a good job under pressure to bring the ball up.
Steal by Fabro there, getting herself on the stat sheet and kicking it down. Townsville ball from the baseline here. A little disorganised with the young group. Fowler for the 2. And so we've talked about these young players heading off to Canberra next week, Chloe. So Fowler, obviously, with the Sapphires group, aiming to try and carry herself through and get away to the World Championships in Belarus later this year. And, you know, the Andrews and Goodchild, as we talked about earlier, away with the Gems group as well, with, you know, their forward target is India later this year for Asia qualifiers.
Yeah, that's right. So they're looking, yeah, that's right, Asia Cup this year. Alex Fowler certainly had a really good Nationals campaign last week, so I think she'd be high on the list for the Sapphires.
Another steal there by Townsville. Campbell getting a hand in and deflecting, and you can see the frustration on her face right now. Hasn't been the happiest night for Mackay, and there'll be a little bit of soul searching on that bus trip, I would suggest. Harriet Carey for three. Jay Willis coming up with the rebound. It's great to see all these youth out on the court at the end of the game here. You know, there's a lot of junior ballers that have come through their associations. You know, the only one sort of a little bit left field at the moment out there, Campbell, the import from Mackay. But all these players have come through representing their associations as juniors and worn these colours, and to get their chance to do it at a senior level. You know, I know a lot of these kids look up to this opportunity and are probably loving life out there right now.
Yeah, that's right, and they get to do it in front of a nice big crowd, which would also be exciting for them. So I think, you know, reward for their hard work. A lot of kids have been involved in rep programs for many years and put a lot of time in.
Kick out to Kerry, missed three again. Fabro, good chase on the glass, but it ends up with Mackay ball. 30 seconds to go. Townsville up 95-55.
Offensive foul on the screen there. Campbell having a chat to the referee. 18 seconds left. Let's see what the kids can do with the last shot.
Looking for that 5-point play to get up to the 100 points. Kick inside the foul, kick out for Pacey for the three. Short.
There you go, and Mackay will hang on to the ball, and that's game over.
Clock runs out, and a very impressive 95-55 win to Townsville Flames to open up their season. That loss takes Mackay to 1-1 with a game against Cairns to go this weekend, and Townsville will now shift their focus straight away to Rockhampton next weekend.
Yeah, look, and Townsville will be happy. Multiple double-digit scorers. You know, Mila on 16, Haley Andrews 14, Michaela Cox 17, Darcy Garber 19. You know, a nice little cameo from Harriet Carey off the bench with 10. Mackay scorers, we've got Lloyd with 18 and Campbell with 20. So as we mentioned before, they really need to find some other scorers out there. And you know, wasn't Freeburn's night tonight. She went 3 of 17, and you know, if she can start hitting some of those mid-range shots, it's a different game for them.
Even if she gets that up to 50% from the field, you know, just keeps that gap a little bit closer. When the game was there, that scoreboard pressure would have changed that a little bit. But you know, Townsville, that first quarter where they just came out of the blocks, just hitting everything really, and that took this game away from Mackay pretty early, and you know, it was one-way traffic pretty much from there.
Yeah, look, I think you know, Coach Maurice will be happy with that three-point shooting. He's been speaking about it all preseason. They really wanted to improve their three-point shooting percentage from last year, and can't imagine he'd be too upset with 12 of 34. He'd be pretty pleased with that.
Just looking at Zelenka walking off the court there, and she is definitely walking with a little bit of a limp. So, you know, that might explain those restricted minutes tonight. There's obviously something not quite right there.
Yeah,
you know,
look, she's had a few back issues when she was with us, and she looks to be grabbing her back or her hip, so maybe something's flared up there. And look, they really missed her tonight. I think she's a big part of their offense, and you know, a big part of their energy as well. She does such a good job chasing the boards, and she's she's really a creative type of player. She can create her own shots, but she's quite crafty. I think for a player her size, she's got some great ball handling skills as well. So they really missed her tonight.
well, that's it for the first game this evening. I'd like to thank Claudia Brassard, Fire Coach, for coming in and joining us in on the commentary tonight. Great fun, always fun working with you, Chloe. So, great win for Townsville here. We will take a little bit of a break. We do have some time until the men's game begins. In the break here, we might get some footage, if you're continuing to watch the stream, of the raising of the banner ceremony for the Townsville Heat, something that they've obviously been looking forward to, and thus why we've got the longer break in between the games here today so that they can really celebrate properly. From speaking with GM Greg Vanderjagt during the week, they've got players here from all of their previous championship years as well. So, Townsville historically have held all their banners and all their memorabilia up on their mezzanine floor up the top, but decision made by this year's group to let's get them up above the court and celebrate the history of this place. And tonight's all about the Heat. From what I understand, next week will be all about the Flames and the raising of their banners that they've won in the past years. And then I think week 3, from what Greg said to me, the retired singlets are going to go up there as well. So it's good to see them celebrating their history.
Yeah, look, I think so. Townsville basketball has such a rich basketball history, and it's always nice and a little bit intimidating for other teams when you walk into the stadium and you see a whole bunch of championship banners hanging up. I think we should be displaying them very proudly.
I'm sure, Chloe, you're looking forward to hanging another one up next year, come round 1 for the Fire.
Yeah, look, I think we're making a habit of it. Certainly, we make it look easier than it is, but look, we're quite ecstatic about coming away with the 3rd one in 4 years.
And just on the Fire, look, obviously the roster's slowly coming together. There's 7 players signed now. You want to chat to us a little bit about how the group's looking with those 7 sort of secured and what you're looking for with the last couple of spots?
Yeah, look, happy with the roster we've got so far. Obviously, I think anytime you get Susie back, you're always a contender, and she's such a competitor for us. And she's playing in France right now, putting up big numbers, but she's back for one more, possibly her last. And so that's exciting for us. I think some of the challenges that we will have, we're losing 3 starters. Kelly Wilson, Mia Murray, going to have a season off to try to have babies and start their families. And Kayla George has gone to Melbourne, so that's a bit of a challenge when you lose 3 starters to try to replace that. But really happy that we've got Michaela Cox, Michaela Donnelly, and Zatina back, Lauren Mincy and Darcy. So right away we've got a nice core group coming back, and they're some pretty solid players. But more importantly, I think, as you know, Mark, they're great in our team culture. They're super coachable. Yep. We enjoy being around that group, and we're fortunate that we got to add Tess Madgen to that list, and we've tried recruiting her for a number of years.
So that, look, to me, that's a massive get for Townsville. She's been such a great player in the WNBL over the years. To finally get that signature after chasing her for many years.
Yeah, look, to say I was relieved is an understatement. I was quite happy when she did say yes. And
look, we'll just stop the Fire chat here for a second. We're starting to introduce some of these players here from the Townsville Heat, or Townsville Suns back in the days, 1986 and championship banner teams, and the 1989 championship banner teams. So back in the Suns those days, and then to the 2000 team, and then obviously the 2017 team. We're going to have representatives from all those teams here to help unveil these banners for their home fans. So first we're seeing the revealing of the 1986 championship banner by the Townsville Suns. The cloth comes off, and there it is. So Barry Horner, part of that celebration there, former player and former great coach of this Townsville program for a very long time. So now we're looking to celebrate the 1989 team, I believe. So 1989 team where Stephen Boyd, one of the gentlemen from Townsville who's got his number retired and never played for in a Townsville colour again. So when I first came to Townsville, I was on the bench with Boydie as an assistant coach with the Heat. So He's had a long association with this program. And in 1989, I believe they beat the Toowoomba Mountaineers in the final to secure the title.
There we go, and about to unveil it.
Number 2 banner to fly up to the ceiling this evening. So now we move to the 2000 team. So this is the first one that the Townsville Heat secured after they changed the names away from the Suns. And we've got Todd Alloway coming out onto the court, who was an integral member of that team. They beat the Southern District Spartans in that championship. Peter Crawford, part of this celebration. Who's to believe that he was, God, how old would have he been running around playing in that championship? So still currently playing, obviously, for the Heat and doing a great job. Barry Horner again involved in this celebration, so he's had a large part to play in the history of the Heat and the Suns here. So now they make their way over towards revealing the 2000 banner. Off it comes. Third banner to go up onto the roof this evening. And now the one obviously most of the fans will be here for, the celebration of last year's championship team. So again, a long break, 2000 to 2017. You know, they come close a couple of times through that period, lost some finals, you know, made continuous finals many years, but couldn't quite get over the line. And then went down to Mackay and successfully did it in that best of 3 series in Mackay last year.
Yeah, look at, you know, that's tough to win on the road and against a sold-out Mackay crowd. So credit to them that they pulled away with that championship.
So I believe we're actually starting with some championship rings being presented to the QBL board here. You know, a nice touch from the club to make sure these people behind the scenes doing all this work get recognised for their efforts in part of the championship as well. So I'm sitting up on the crow's nest here and I've got 2 very nervous boys standing on the left and the right of me, ready to pull the ropes to get these banners up to the roof. They're looking very nervous right now. They don't want to stuff this up in front of the crowd, but
they got a big job to do.
Pressure's on, Brad. Hey? Are you up to it, Brad? Young Maxie Norton down the other end, he's ready to lift it. So we're introducing all the players returning at the moment who are part of that championship team to come out and take part in this revealing ceremony.
Brendan McCauley became a
2-time father this week.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations, Rachel and Brendan.
And I presume we'll see Rachel here next week as part of the Flames ceremony where they'll celebrate a couple of championships as well as a couple of national championships.
You're very familiar with those?
It was good fun. PC back out again. I think we'll finally see Barry Horner pushed to the sideline for this ceremony. He's been involved in all 3 so far, but his claim to this one was probably up in the bar having a beer watching these guys play last year. So Keegan coming out now, the captain of the current team.
The assistant coach was Greg Benjack. Team manager, Sarah Bird. Strength and conditioning coach, Greg Close. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the head coach, Mr. Rodney Anderson.
Now, local coach Rodney Anderson. Look, I think all of us who saw any of the highlights from the finals last year saw Rodney just so jubilant, even in tears after the grand final. Grown up as a Townsville local his whole life, you know, it would have been his dream to coach the Heat at some stage, and to then break that 17-year drought to win a championship was all of his dreams come true.
Yeah, look, he was emotional, and rightly so.
This is a big deal for us. I think, you know, it's a big thing to do to win a championship. So we're here to celebrate tonight and put the banner up. It's a super big deal for us. I do want to thank, first of all, for us to all show up for training, it does take up a lot of time and it does cost a lot of money. So we want to thank all the parents, the wives, the girlfriends, brothers and sisters that help us out and allow us to play. While the towns across aren't here anymore, and it's super upsetting to me, I think right now the Townsville is the pinnacle of male basketball in Townsville. And you know, I remember coming and watching Heat play when I was 13 as an amateur boy at the Mackay Carnival, and it was something cool that I wanted to do when I was in grade 11. I came to all the Heat games. And to be a part of the team in 2000 and part of the team again in 2018. Hopefully we've inspired the next generation of kids to be inspired the same way I was, to work hard, to join the team, and hopefully that's something that we can pass on to everyone. And that's something that the parents, wives, girlfriends are all part of as well. I think if you have a look up at the banners, you see 1986 and 1989, Townsville Suns champions. Just after 1989, the Townsville Suns were formed. So, you know, something big's going to happen. In 2000, the Townsville Heat won a championship. In 2001, the Townsville Crocs went to the grand final in the NBL. 2018, the Townsville Heat won the championship. Hopefully something big's going to happen. Hopefully you're all part of it. I'm not quite sure what it is just yet, but I feel it, and hopefully you guys can feel it as well. Last thing I want to say is we all play basketball anyway. All these guys, we all play basketball anyway, but what makes playing for the Heat really cool is playing in front of you guys. When there's more people watching, it's more fun. So to the box holders, the bucket seats, the blue crew, the GA, you know, we're here to play for you guys, and hopefully this year, hopefully, I think we've got a good enough thing to go again. Hopefully we'll have the $3 grand final series at home, and hopefully you can join in the fun that we had last year. So thank you very much.
So Peter Crawford putting the call out to this year's group and trying to put the pressure on them before a ball's even been thrown in the air this year, trying to forecast and hoping that they go back to back for the first time ever.
Look, they have a very prolific roster this year, so certainly the pressure will be on them.
Here we go. Last year's captain, Matty Reese, and coach Rod Anderson revealing the 2017 banner. Heat fans, charge your glasses if you're watching at home. We've got a beer in our hands right now to celebrate, so hopefully you've got a beer or a wine or something at home and toast to a great group. Now the banner's slowly being raised up to the ceiling now. We'll get caught in the crossfires on this spotlight for a little bit here, Chloe. There they go, to lie at the top of the court to, as you said before, just try and put that little statement when teams walk into this venue that they know that that's what they want to try and achieve this year, and the Heat got it last year and they're aiming to go back-to-back this year.
And look, Mark, I haven't seen the Mackay boys. I must say they're probably out on the backcourts warming up, not trying to watch any of it.
So a reminder, those who have enjoyed seeing tonight's celebration of the raising of the banners for the Heat, next week you'll see the ones for the, I believe the old Sunbirds first and then the Flames. There might be a Sunbirds one there as well. Not sure, but we'll see them go up to the roof next week and we'll broadcast that as well. Unfortunately, Chloe and I won't be here. We'll be away, but somebody else will talk you through that. And we'll take a break now and be back in about probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so for the tip-off of the men's game at 8:30.
Thanks, Mark.